Hi, my friends. Thank you for joining me in this video. This is Ethan Wise, and I have a treat for you. This is my first video following this new format where I will be sharing with you the words that somebody else has said from another video or an audiobook or something like that in the future, and then give you my own commentary. So today I decided to go with this guy. You might know who he is. This thing showed up on Facebook today, so I decided to why not share what went through my mind while I was watching this video. So let's get started. And oops, let me share the audio first. This is my first time doing this format, so thank you for bearing with me and for listening. Many of you probably know this guy. I refer to him as the Indian guy with the white beard, the guru on YouTube, Sadhu Guru, and he is popular online. So let's analyze some of what he says in this video. Let's get started.
At before you go to bed, spend at least 12–15 minutes reminding yourself, you're neither this body nor this mind.
What he just said is to spend 12 to 15 minutes before you go to sleep, reminding yourself that you are neither the body or neither the mind. So reminding yourself of that. You're not the body, you're not the mind. And now he is going to say, if you are not able to do it,
If you're not able to do it, just link it to your breath. Inhalation, I'm not the body. Exhalation, I'm not even the mind.
okay. If you're not able to reason it or think it and become not the body or not the mind, you can then link it or practice creating that state by using breath, inhalation and exhalation.
And just lie down for 12 minutes and do it till the last moment, till you fall asleep.
So do this for 12 to 15 minutes until the last moment when you fall asleep. So what I'm hearing him say is that this is not sleep. This is a different state of awareness, different state of brain waves or consciousness that you are in. You are in a state where you are identifying as not the body, not the mind, and not asleep. When I heard him say this, as someone who practices hypnosis and self-hypnosis and other consciousness practices along with doing mental health counseling, I immediately thought, well, he is speaking about hypnosis. In fact, this is exactly one of the examples I provide my clients to explain to them what hypnosis is and what hypnosis feels like. Hypnosis, I tell my clients, is that place between being awake and sleep. So when you're going from awake to sleep, you pass through hypnosis. And in the morning, from asleep to awake, this is the state of hypnosis. Drowsy, half awake, half asleep. In fact, when hypnosis was introduced to the West in Europe, people used to call it wakeful sleep. Literally, they called it wakeful sleep because back then, subjects who were being hypnotized by a doctor would look asleep. However, they are awake. So they're awake but asleep. Their body appeared to be asleep and relaxed. It even felt asleep to the person in hypnosis, but their mind was aware and receptive and paying attention to commands. Back then, they used to call them commands. Today, we call them suggestions. The doctor would tell their subject, raise your finger if you hear me, and the subject would do that, or nod your head, or tell me what you're seeing, or take a deep breath, and the client would comply, would do the way or what is the doctor suggesting for him to do. So they were awake, but they appeared to be asleep. This is what Sadhu Guru is talking about. To us in the West, we call it hypnosis.
Something you must notice, most human beings, when I say most, I'm very generous with the percentage, 99%. 99% of the human beings never notice that moment when they're slipping from wakefulness to sleep. If they…
The moment when you're slipping from wakefulness to sleep. Okay. And 99%, and he's being generous, don't notice that moment. 99% don't notice hypnosis. I agree and I disagree. First of all, he hasn't met my clients. He has not met with my clients because if he did, most of them would know that the state of between those two states of consciousness is called hypnosis. If you check your brain waves, when you're thinking, it's beta. When you're asleep, it's delta. In between, it's different. So it's also scientifically looking at it, it's a different set of brain waves. Sometimes it's a different set of regions of the brains that are being activated. So my clients, I would hope that 99% of my clients do know and do realize and notice that they go into hypnosis at least twice a day, whenever they go from awake to sleep and in the morning when they wake up. The other point is that he mentioned going into sleep, which is kind of confusing to me because is he speaking about hypnosis or is he speaking about being asleep? Being asleep is not hypnosis. The moment in between awake and asleep is hypnosis. As you drift into sleep, you're no longer hypnotized. You may be going into a deeper state of hypnosis, which is perfectly legit, and it can feel more like sleep, and people have amnesia sometimes in the deep states of hypnosis. So maybe he is trying to say you go into from awake to relaxed to hypnotized to deeper hypnotized, and then you fall asleep. So he is, in my opinion, appears to be talking about a light state of hypnosis and a deeper state of hypnosis, or just overall hypnosis. He is suggesting that something happens.
They're alert, they cannot sleep, but there is a way to sleep in an alert manner.
Okay. People who are alert cannot sleep, but you could sleep in an alert manner. Terminology is important here. I think what he means when he says people who are alert cannot sleep, I think he means people that are thinking cannot sleep, people that are hyper alert, people, well, not even that. People that are thinking cannot sleep, people that are stressed out and tense, alert, like a military, attention, alert. Some guy standing alert cannot sleep. Yes. But that you could sleep while you're being alert, yeah, that is hypnosis. You can go to sleep, body asleep, mind awake. The mind is alert, the body is asleep. It's called hypnosis. And not only that, in fact, one of the definitions of hypnosis, and if you haven't guessed, there are many definitions of hypnosis already out there in the floating around. One of the definitions is that it is a hyper state of alertness or a state of hyper alertness. So people think when they're hypnotized that they're zoned out. No, you can be zoned out. That's one option, but you could also be hyper alert. In hypnosis, you can focus like a flashlight. You can focus your awareness completely on one body part. You could focus it on a feeling. You could focus it on a place you're visualizing. You could focus it on a past event. You could focus it on a future event if you want to. You could daydream. Daydream is another definition of hypnosis. You could hyper focus on a negative experience from the past and have a flashback and an emotional reaction. Or you could use it to go to a beautiful paradise, beautiful beach, beautiful place, and practice relaxation and go deeper in a trance. You could use it to see loved ones. It's it's a very good place to be and very powerful tool. and you are alert in hypnosis. Most humans are alert in hypnosis unless they go into a place where they are really, really deep or decide to not be alert. But hypnosis is hyper alertness. It's focus, it's concentration, just like many of the meditative practices out there. Many meditations are about focus and being really alert and focused on something. But what I think he means here when he said, if you're alert, you can't sleep, I think he means stressed, tense, awake, thinking. Of course, that's the opposite of relaxation and the opposite of sleep. And in the beginning of this clip, he mentioned the mind. And I think that's another interesting use of words on his part because what is the mind? He's not defining what the mind is. I think what he meant is thoughts. Like, I am not the mind, I am not the body. Well, what does he mean by mind? Is the mind consciousness? Is the mind thinking? There's a difference between consciousness and awareness and thinking. They're not the same thing. You are not the thoughts, but you are that who observes the thoughts. You are the consciousness, the awareness that is there, that is able to watch, observe, experience the thoughts. You're the one that engages the thoughts. You're the one that can create new thoughts or reject thoughts and analyze thoughts. So who is doing that? Is it the mind? I think the mind is a little more vague of a term to use. Some people think of the mind as being more of a psychospiritual, even psychic, non-corporeal thing. Like, my mind could be my subconscious. Let's assume that's in the body. It can also be the brain. It can be the cells in the body. It could be the neurons in the heart, like the nervous system in the heart, in the gut. It could be the entire body. That's part of the mind. That's why I have a business called Mind Body Healing. Mind and body are literally one unit. You cannot separate them in this reality that we're in. Okay, and that's a whole different topic I'm going to leave for another video. But mind and body. So mind is all of the parts of you that think and feel, and the parts of you that are programmed, but it also includes consciousness and or soul. Body, we know what that is, right? But the mind is not as simple as, it's like, it's just defined differently by different people, and there is not a straight line defining, what the mind is. It's similar to the word meditation. People think of it differently. Mind, people think of that differently. So I think I personally say you are not thoughts. I don't say you are not the mind, just to avoid confusion. And mind is much bigger and it's more encompassing. It includes thoughts. And some people have experienced out-of-body experiences where they were still there without a body, potentially. So you could argue that when they were without the body, what was left was the mind. Some people feel that the mind can be non-corporeal, it can be dissociated and exists without the body. So, and in that case, and who are you? You're still there. The mind is still there. So, yep. I just like to use the words consciousness and thoughts. They are more clearly defined and more clear for more people to understand. So anyway, I will let this video play to the end and then repeat it to that point where he says you're not the mind and you're not the body, and maybe offer a reminder just to bring it up again, especially the technique he's suggesting to use.
If you sleep like that, one thing that'll happen to you is your sleep quota, if you're sleeping for 8 hours, it'll simply drop to 3 to 4 hours.
Okay, so if you practice this technique in bed before you go to sleep, again, see, he is not saying this is sleep. In the beginning of the video, he said you practice it until you go to sleep. If you practice this, then you will need less hours of sleep during the nighttime.
Just straight away. That moment when you're passing from wakefulness to sleep, if you can still be conscious that I am not the body and I am not the mind, believe me, something remarkable will happen. Tonight.
So that moment when you're passing from consciousness to sleep, if you remain aware that I am consciousness, something good will happen.
Night before you go to bed, spend at least 12–15 minutes reminding yourself, you're neither this body nor this mind. If you're
Neither this body or this mind. Or, in other words, neither the body nor the thought. I am the observer. I am consciousness. I am practicing mindfulness meditation. I am being present in this moment, observing. Or it's a paradox. You are detaching from the mind and the body, which allows you to observe those more clearly.
not able to do it, just link it to your breath. Inhalation, I'm not the body. Exhalation, I'm not even the mind. Just lie down for 12 minutes and do it till the last.
So this is a meditation technique, or in our Western thinking, we would call this a hypnosis induction, or it could be, in this case, breath work technique, where you're using the breathing, I guess, and the words like a mantra to say, inhale, I'm not the body. Exhale, I'm not the mind. Inhale, I am not the body. Exhale, I am not the thoughts. Okay? So to remind yourself that you are not the body and not the thoughts, using breath work. I personally would recommend including relaxation with every time. So if you tell yourself, if you allow your body to release tension, double the relaxation every time you exhale, you will literally let the body vanish and you will remain as the observer. So you don't need to use words to tell yourself, I'm not the body, I'm not the mind. The consciousness itself doesn't really work well with words. It works well with memories, with feelings, with what it knows, drawing back from past experience. And it works well with metaphor. But you have felt that state before. So when you use the relaxation, relax the body a lot until it vanishes. And when it vanishes, by default, you are there and you are not the body, you are the observer. And then you do the same thing with the thoughts. If you happen to have a thought, which becomes less likely to have a thought when your body is relaxed. The more relaxed the body, the more quiet the mind is. So the mind clears. You are still there, present in this space, without thoughts, without the body. So relaxation, breath work, along with multiple other hypnotic induction techniques or yoga, meditation practice approaches can help you with that. So you don't have to do what he's saying only. This is not the only way. There are many other ways.
Last moment till you fall asleep. This is something you must notice. Most human beings, when I say most, I'm very generous with the percentage, 99%. 99% of the human beings never notice that moment when they're slipping from wakefulness to sleep. If they're alert, they cannot sleep, but there is a way to sleep in an alert manner. If you sleep
Wakeful sleep.
like that, one thing that'll happen to you is your sleep quota, if you're sleeping for 8 hours, it'll simply drop to 3 to 4 hours just straight away. That moment when you're
This reminds me of Spring Forest Qigong, which is a technique I learned many years ago in Minnesota. I started learning that about 10 years ago, approximately, and took the classes with the Chinese person who's from China that learned this technique when he was there and brought it to Minnesota in the US. And he started a system called Spring Forest Qigong in Spring Forest Qigong, which is a very simplified version of Qigong. Qigong stands for energy practice, and it's a meditative practice that looks like Tai Chi. It involves a little bit of slow movement like this and like this, along with breathing slowly and or visualizations, which looks a lot like hypnosis. It is hypnosis, but an Eastern version of that. When I took the classes towards the end, like at level 3, and then when you, yeah, it was level 3. the master, the expert in Qigong, or the guru, I believe, like this guy, which is more of a cultural title than anything, said that he does not sleep much at night because he practices Qigong every day. And when you practice Qigong every day, my students, you will also need less sleep at night. Why is that? Well, the main reason, which is also observed in hypnosis, is that if you do this, it's like taking a 15-minute power nap in the middle of the day. So a nap is very helpful. We all know that. But then when you experience hypnosis or Qigong, your mind is clear of thinking. You are breathing more and exhaling slowly. The exhalation slowly helps the nervous system become more and more relaxed. It helps the autonomic nervous system, helps all of the organs in your body, and it releases tension. Your oxygen level in your blood goes up, your mind is clear, and it's like a power nap, but better because you're breathing and relaxing and all these good things. So if you believe in energy, then you're also breathing in energy, you're moving energy around your body. You're also letting go of negative thoughts, letting go of negative energy, even physical sensations that are like tension or discomfort, like pain. You could let that go when you exhale. So these exercises, the Qigong in Minnesota, it was mostly practiced by older people who have health conditions, and they found this very helpful for them. So my hypnosis clients, the majority of them, when they come back from hypnosis, they tell me, I did not want to come back. It felt so good. I feel relaxed and refreshed, like I took a power nap. So whether it's Qigong or hypnosis, if you practice that often, this is a beneficial side effect. Having said all of that, I need to tell you that sleeping at night is important, very important, and I am not telling you to skip on sleep or make it your goal to think I want to sleep less, so I'm gonna practice this in order to free up more time to sleep less. I don't think you should consciously try to reduce your hours of sleep. Listen to your body and do what it needs to be done. In my mental health work, in the mental health field, with all of the exposure to some clients with some more chronic or more serious diagnosis, or if I used just like regular terminology, I would say anybody with a lot of problems in their life, whether they are physical problems or mood problems or emotional problems or regulation, emotional regulation and discipline and things like that. And the majority of those cases, they have problems with sleeping. Either they go to bed very late, they cannot sleep easily, they wake up often, they cannot go back to sleep, or they wake up feeling tired. They talk about doing sleep studies, sleep apnea, sleepwalking. The quality of sleep is related or linked to quality of life and health, mental health, physical health. They're connected. There's a reason why sleep deprivation is a form of torture. So, one last thing I want to make here is that this guy looks like he might be older in age. The Qigong master that I learned with, or the Qigong expert that I learned with, is older in age. And as people get older, usually they need less hours of sleep. Just saying it. Okay. Um, I am not telling you to listen or not listen to this guy or to me. Go ahead and listen to everybody. Listen to this guru, listen to other gurus, listen to Chinese masters, listen to therapists, listen to doctors, but don't just listen to ones that agree with each other. Go look for different types, different leanings, different education and backgrounds, doctors that say this is good, and then listen to other ones that say something else is good. If somebody tells you this is the only way or the only path, this is the only thing that's going to heal you, balance your body, help you with your problem. If somebody starts telling you this is the only way or the best way, personally, I become skeptic and I wonder, why do you think that? You know, there's almost nothing new under the sun. Well, just like hypnosis, we know it by many names. Um, Many things that exist today have existed under different names and definitions, and there are very few things that are new. And even when it comes to like medications by doctors, you can ask yourself, is this really balancing my body and going to the core of the problem, or is this just a mask? Same thing with mental health. They call it trying to remember, like spiritual bypass. You could call it, I'm just gonna do some wordplay here on some other phrase that is popular these days, but this one I'm gonna call toxic spirituality. It's well known as spiritual bypass, where you tell yourself you just ignore the problems. Okay. It can be also religious bypass. You just don't want to deal with the problem and expect that you can bypass it and look away, mask over it. It does work, but it doesn't really allow you to go in and resolve the issues, balance the body completely. So when you get compromised in the future, if you're sick, feeling tired, moody, triggered, those parts that have not been integrated and healed, integrated and healed, will show up and be a problem because they were not dealt with completely. They were more like suppressed and ignored. Okay. We can talk more about that in different videos, especially if you ask me about it. Let's finish this one up and then we'll be done with this one.
Passing from wakefulness to sleep, if you can still be conscious that I am not the body and I am not the mind, believe me, something remarkable will happen.
Something remarkable will happen, and I wish he said what it is. What is this something remarkable that's going to happen? Are you going to remain awake all night, but your body's sleeping, and stay in bed for 3 to 4 hours while your mind is awake but body asleep? Or are you going to become lucid in your dreams and start to daydream while you're still asleep? In other words, lucid. Well, not in other words, but it could be lucid dreaming, it could be daydreaming, it could be visualization, all this time without falling into sleep. Are you gonna wake up knowing answers to some questions you might have asked yourself that night or before you went into the state of hypnosis? Are you going to heal faster or stop needing to eat as much food? What is the remarkable thing that's going to happen? I wish you would say.
Tonight before you go to bed, spend at least 12–15 minutes reminding yourself, you're neither this body nor this mind.
Okay, so now we're back to the beginning of the video, and thank you very much for joining me here in listening to my thoughts on what Sadhu Guru said. I hope this was helpful in some way to maybe, I don't know, put it into words that make more sense to you, or bring it into the Western culture in a more compatible manner, maybe expanding on what he's saying. I don't know how or in which way this might have been helpful to you, but as long as it was helpful, I would be satisfied to know that. So thank you for listening. Feel free to leave a comment or contact me with your own experiences. And then I need to make sure I say this, that nothing I say is medical advice. I am not a doctor. Nothing I say is approved by anybody. And do not listen to me. And I also, when I comment on people like this guy, nothing personal. And I respect this person, and everybody has something to share. Everybody has bits and pieces of information for you to take and integrate and then make up your own mind. Okay, there's an old drawing that shows some guy pointing their finger at the moon. It's not about me, it's not about the guru, it's where they're pointing. Follow, look where they're pointing. Don't focus on the personality of the person or the guru, because you are your own guru. I wish you all the best. Take a deep breath and please click on the like button and subscribe to this channel, share this video, and I will see you in the future. Maybe. Take care. Bye-bye.